Previously on Balls.
But unashamedly, my favourite South African rugby player is now on the radio with us.
Heinrich Brüssow.
Heinrich Brüssow! Welcome to...
How's it going?
Oh, top class. You know, Heinrich, I got to say, because you're a Free State man, and your style of rugby reminds me of the great Gerry Sonicus.
Gerry Sonicus, yeah.
Do you remember him? You're too young to know.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah. He was my father on varsity. Yeah, he was a real good player.
Yeah, he was just unbelievable. Great to have you on the show. I suppose the main thing is, how's the injury? Has it all over? Are you back on track?
Yes.
Yeah, I think everything is going really well. I played 80 minutes this weekend. Was only supposed to play 40, but the fitness was a bit tested. So I'm not that fit yet. But the injury is doing really well, and I'm really positive about it, so I'm feeling good.
Heinrich, certainly a lot of people missing you not being in the Bok mix, and I'm sure you'd very much like to be in there as well, and we certainly need a great fetcher like you in that particular mix. How are you handling not being there?
Yeah, I'm not going to say it's easy. It's not nice to be not being there. I think when you're first part of the team, it's like an environment you grow into. It's like it starts to get like a family. So it's bad not being there, but I think it makes me work harder at the things that I'm not that good at, maybe the things that I was lacking, and I think at the end it's going to make me a better rugby player. But like I said, just working harder and just keep on believing.
Is it difficult, Heinrich, for you to sit here in South Africa and read the papers and read what everyone's saying about the Boks and what Heineke's game plan is and the guys that are performing, the guys that aren't performing? I mean, you know the ins and outs of the team. You know what the guys are like, and you know that the coach says you play to a game plan. So is it difficult for you to sit here and read what's being said about your teammates?
Yeah, it's always going to be difficult. Like I said, you become like a family, and there's a lot of your friends are there. Even though you're not from the same union, but at the end, when you get to the Springboks, in a few years' time, you get really good friends. So it's bad, some of the criticism that's going around, and I think Heinrich is also getting a lot of criticism, but I think for him as a coach, he's a new coach into a tough job. I don't think it's a job many people want. So he's going into a tough job. He's basically forming a new team with a lot of guys that he lost, which he's retired, and a few injured guys. So he's basically forming a new team for the next World Cup, and going into a new team, new game plan is always going to be tough, and I think he knew it from the beginning, but I think they did really well this weekend. This past weekend they didn't play that badly, but hopefully they can do better this weekend.
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask you about the game. What were you thinking, sitting on the couch at home, no doubt, watching the game?
The Australian one.
Yes.
Yeah, I think they played really well. I think a few mistakes could have changed the whole game. They had a lot of opportunities which they didn't use, and I think a soft try at the end cost them the game.
Did you get the same sort of feeling that you may have had in the quarterfinals of the World Cup last year? That feeling of being so close yet unable to get over the line.
Yeah. You can say it that way. I think we were more in control in the quarterfinals last year, but. Like I said, I think these things didn't go our way, so let's leave it there.
At least there was no Pocock and Bryce Lawrence in the mix there, that's for sure. Yeah. But now looking at
that made a difference.
It did.
Not a big enough one.
Heinrich, as you can see, Heinrich is just basically tweaking the forwards there, one or two changes or so. Flip van der Merwe replaces Eben and Francois Lowe coming in for Marcel Coetzee at flank should make a big difference against the All Blacks.
Yeah, definitely. I think you need a tough guy like Flip against the All Blacks. He's maybe going to cost you a penalty or two, but he's a tough player. He's physically really brings the game to the forwards, and he's a real fit for big guys. So he gets around the park. So Flip's definitely going to make a big impact. I think Marcel going to the bench, he will also be a great impact player. But starting Flo, Flo's a real good rugby player. I played a few years with him and against him, so he's a real tough competitor, and I think he's one of the rare fetchers that's also a good ball carrier. So I think he'll fit nicely into Heineke's plan as well. And like I said, he's a good player. And then Marcel can maybe come on because he's also a quality player with ball in hand, and he's got great work rate. So he'll come on maybe the last 30. And I think it's a good combination. I think it will work really well.
Yes.
Heinrich, I got to say, I mean, I've been a big fan of Adrian Strass as well, and it's amazing how he stepped up into the Springbok jersey, and he really seems to fit the part.
Yeah, he's a guy for big moments. He's been there for us. He's been at the Cheetahs. He's been really special. I think when we lost John, there wasn't a lot of guys that could have put up the hand being a leader and the captain of the team, and he was just a guy that showed the character, and he put up his hand and he led the team really well. I think the guys really believed in him, and he's got that special atmosphere around him that makes him that special player. And like you said, I think he really pitched up for the Springboks, and in Bismarck's absence, he's done a great job, and he's been really one of the players. He's just not just under captain by speech, but he leads by the example he plays, and he's just a special guy as well.
Sorry, you were going to say something?
No.
Just looking ahead to your game on Saturday in the Absa Currie Cup up against the Golden Lions. Should be a great clash. The Golden Lions, of course, having beaten the Blue Bulls last weekend. Just the one change there, Henro Skolz getting a start for your guys?
Yeah, I think over the last 2 weekends we weren't that good. I think we didn't play that bad, but like I said, the same with Springboks, we had the opportunities which we didn't use, and a few defensive errors cost us the games. But the guys really looked sharp. We had our last training before we go into captains on Friday this morning, and the guys was really sharp. And I think they want to make a change around, and especially with the second piece of the Currie Cup now going on, I think we're going to make a big step up. But it's always going to be tough. The Lions, like you said, they played really well against the Bulls, and they play a good brand of rugby, running rugby. They're always going to test you at all sides of the game. So it's definitely going to be a tough one, but we're looking forward to it.
Well, interested to hear your thoughts on the new format of the Currie Cup, because essentially every week that you play now, it's against what we call, an A-list side. There's no easy games really anymore.
Yeah, definitely. You can see on the log. I think the log shows there's no easy way out, and everybody is basically halfway into the competition. Everybody is basically equal. So it's going to be a tough competition till the end, and like you said, there's not an easy game to go by. So every weekend it's good games to watch. Everybody's in front of the TVs, and I think it's really it's a good competition.
Great. And finally, I have to ask you, give us a quick prediction. What do you think is going to happen between the Boks and the All Blacks this weekend?
Yeah, like I said, I think they really played a lot better against Australia. So if they can use a few small things this week, which they had a chance to prepare for, and make the best out of it, they can beat the All Blacks down there. But it's going to be tough. I played a test or two down there. It's always tough. If you don't pitch up and if you make a few mistakes, you're not going to get there. But I think the guys that are there, the senior guys that I know, with a few young talents coming through, if they just believe and work for 80 minutes, a lot of good discipline and work rate, they can pull it through.
Do you think that the Boks, I mean, maybe it's an obvious question, but are aided by the fact that Dan Carter isn't there? Tell us exactly how much does he exactly control a game?
Yeah, you don't have to explain him. He's a world-class player, and he's basically the best 10 for the last 6-7 years in the world. So he's a big influence for them, and I think the Springboks must definitely use that opportunity and put a lot of pressure. I think it's prudent playing. They can put a lot of pressure on him because Dan Carter's that experience. He knows what to do with pressure, so they definitely have a big advantage in that, and they must use it.
Heinrich, just thank you so much for taking the time off to chat to us. We really appreciate it. It's been a pleasure chatting to you, and like many of our fans here, we can't wait to see you back in the green and gold there.
Yeah, no more injuries, Heinrich.
Yeah, it's enough now.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for the chat, and have a nice evening, all of you.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Oh, well.
I tell you, what a player.
What a player.
We need him back, and let's hope he carries on his Currie Cup, and then, of course, maybe on the return legs of the Castle Championship, we'll have Heinrich Brüssow back.
2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Mondays to Fridays live on balls.co.za. Balls.co.za.